EPZ Q5, a dynamic driver in your monitor from EPZ that after using, I have some conflicting thoughts about it. And I feel that unless you're someone who likes a particular distinct type of sound signature, it may not be for you. Let me explain. So this is the box it comes in. Medium-sized box, not too large, not too small. Inside the box we get some paperwork, a branded cleaning cloth to keep your in-ear monitors buff shine, the branded hard carrying case to carry your in-ear monitors and their accessories in, numerous pairs of different sized silicone ear tips, the oxygen-free silver-plated copper cable with MMCX connectors on one end and a 3.5mm stereo jack on the other. And of course you get the EPZ Q5 in-ear monitors themselves. Now as for the key specs of the EPZ Q5, so this houses a single dynamic driver of 10mm in each of the in-ear monitors, and it has an impedance of 26 ohms, making this a low impedance in-ear monitor, which your smartphone should easily be able to drive. Then again, because of the poor quality of the inbuilt DACs in our smartphones nowadays, they just don't do justice to these in-ear monitors, and you either end up getting low volume or the bass sounds, well, weak, or it just doesn't do justice to what these in-ear monitors can actually perform. So that is where a portable DAC comes in, which just makes sure that your in-ear monitors perform to their full potential without leaving anything in the tank. And what you get is just the best audio quality possible. And as always, the one that I personally use will be linked in the description below. Now when it comes to the build quality of the EPZ Q5, so it is primarily resin and feels alright, not cheap, not too premium as well, it's okay. As for the fit and comfort, it was also relatively comfortable. I had no issues even for my tiny ears. I had quite a snug seal, so no issues there, and even for long listening sessions, I really had no such ear fatigue, so pretty okay in that department. Now the EPZ Q5 comes with an MMCX connector, which is good in the sense that once you connect it, the connection is pretty secure and it does let you swivel the in-ear monitor, which kind of can be comfortable if you're trying to make some micro adjustments while they are placed in your ear. However, it's not the most common type of connector out there in the market. So when you're going to go for upgrade cables, you're far better off when you have a 2-pin connector like a 0.78 or 0.75mm connector versus an MMCX one. So not that everybody regularly upgrades cables, but if you were on the lookout, your search might be just a tad bit more difficult. Criteria, which is the audio quality. Now you guys know sound is majorly made up of 3 major frequencies: the highs, the mids, and the lows. The highs or the treble response, where the really sharp sounding instruments are, the mids where the vocals are, and the low end or the bass response. Okay, starting off we have the treble response or the high frequencies. So the highs are sharp, detail rich, and treble extension is impressive with good control. It has a good amount of sparkle to them, making tracks sound lively, and instruments in the treble range really shine. The instruments are also quite well separated and audible, and there wasn't much clutter. Overall, the highs do a very impressive job. Next up, we have the mid frequencies where the vocals are. Now the mid range is very upper mid heavy, which makes vocals sound bright and forward, but male vocals tend to sound a bit thin and ever so slightly shouty at peak volume. Female vocals on the other hand sound very nice, but may be a shade metallic if the voice itself is naturally very thin. Now instruments, especially stringed ones, have excellent clarity and sound well spaced out from one another without any clutter. My only complaint would be the lack of a bit of warmth in both the vocals and the instruments, which would have otherwise made them sound more organic and immersive. These minor drawbacks aside, the mid-range is a bright one with ample clarity. And finally we have the low end or the bass response. Now the low end is mid-bass heavy and quite typical of a dynamic driver. It is a balanced low end without any sort of exaggeration, so it provides the required thump and kick as the track requires, but also left me wanting for a bit more depth and slam. Now while it is moderately punchy and tight, it lacks thickness, which makes it sound a bit weak. So definitely the EPZ Q5 is not meant for a bass head because the bass is way too neutral and not at all imposing. Now, the soundstage on the EPZ Q5 was moderately wide and had decent imaging, giving you an idea of the position of instruments in the track. And this could also be used by casual gamers. Okay guys, just to summarize, the EPZ Q5 is definitely something aimed at beginners or casual music listeners. The sound, while lively, is a bit too upper mid heavy, which isn't always the most pleasant experience, nor is it the most natural sounding. If you're looking for a pair that gives you vocals with a ton of clarity and emphasis with a sparkly treble response and passable bass at best, the EPZ Q5 is something you can look into. So there you have it guys, that was my review of the EPZ Q5 dynamic driver in-ear monitors. I hope you've enjoyed that. If you have any other questions regarding this, do hit me up in the comment section below. As always, the link to this and many other in-ear monitors and audio accessories will be given in the description below, and I would really appreciate if you use those links to make your purchase, because that will help me run this channel and I can produce more such high quality and helpful content just for you guys. Thank you so much for stopping by. Make sure to smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, share this video, and I'll catch you guys very soon in the next one. Cheers.